Lego has some massive sets, and I want to build them all. The only issue is I have no space to store them in my room. So the next best option is to build all of the Lego sets in my Minecraft world to store them forever. Let's first start on the Lego Titanic set. This set is massive, so let's build the outline of it just to see how big it really will be. And we're already out of terracotta. Great. Yeah, this build is so big. We're not even done with the outline yet. You know what? Let's try working on one of the easier builds first and move our way to the bigger sets like this one later. So for now, let's move on to the Avengers Tower set. Now, even though this set is the smallest build that we'll make in this video, this set is still giant and has over 5,000 Lego pieces in it. So let's first add the outline to this part of the wall. And yeah, it's pretty big. Well, now that we have the outline, let's fill it in. So the Lego set separates the wall into two different colors, which are gray. And then on the back of this build will be light blue. Just like this. Nice. That's not even the outside complete yet. We still have to add a bit more on the top. But before we finish that, let's now work on the inside. For every Lego set I build, I want to recreate them as exact as possible, including every detail, like this vending machine, the tables over here, this glass bridge, and even Iron Man in his laboratory. Just like this. Okay, it's hard to build this small. But there we go. We're almost done building this first set, and it already looks so sick. Almost exactly like the actual Lego set. All we gotta do now is add the overhang section right here. Just like this. And finally, the last thing we have to add is the Avengers logo on the side of the tower. But boom! The Avenger Tower set is fully complete. Oh, this looks insane. But the Lego sets coming up are gonna be even cooler. Just you wait. Let's now move on to the world map. This actually has the most Lego pieces out of every set, but it's the most simple to build. So let's just start with the border right here. No, I ran out of concrete. Are you serious? Well, that's okay. I guess it's time to get blocks for this build. Now, this set is a pixel art, which means it's gonna require so many different types of blocks, like green concrete, which needs cactus to make, and then others, like orange concrete and yellow concrete, blue concrete, white concrete, and pink concrete. Yeah, all the blocks are concrete. Well, to make all this concrete, that means we're gonna have to get a bunch of sand and then some gravel. But there we go. Hopefully that will be enough. We got all the concrete that we need, so now we can start building. The first parts of the pixel art that I want to add will be the continent, because they're the simplest to make with it being one straight color. So down here, let's first start with Antarctica, which just goes all the way across the bottom. Just like this. Now on this side of the world, hopefully if you know your geography, you know that it will be North and South America. So let's quickly just add them. Hey, nice. Looking pretty good. Now all we have to add are the rest of the continents, which hopefully won't be too hard to make. Boom! Yeah, that was so hard. Well, it's looking pretty good, but of course, it looks a bit empty because we still gotta add the ocean. Now, before we do this, let me fill in all of the empty space with dirt, because if you try to place concrete powder over the air, it doesn't work. So let's first do that. Oh, it looks so much better now. And now we can start on the ocean. This is gonna be so tedious to make, because if you look at the Lego world map, you can see that every pixel has a different color. So that means we're gonna have to go layer by layer and place one pixel at a time. This might take a while. Well, let's do this. This is fun. We finally finished the Pacific Ocean, which means we're around a third done with it. Well, alright, we still got a bit to go, so let's keep going. Oh! Wow, I almost died just then. That was... We're so close to being done, so yeah, let's just try not to die. Just a few more blocks, and we are done. And it actually looks really good, especially with all the detail in the ocean. Alright, nice. 2 Lego sets down, only 6 more to go. But they're only gonna get harder from here. Great. Let's now start working on the Lego Hogwarts set. This set is basically just 3 separate buildings laying on top of a mountain. So the first thing I want to add will be the terrain leading up to the building. And just like the Lego set, it will be a bunch of sand and stone. Okay, wow, that took so much longer than I thought. Well, now on the bottom right here, there will be a baby little boathouse. This is where all the boats go to drop off the wizards, so let's build it. Just like this. Now, it does look a bit weird, but it will look so much better once we start adding the buildings. Hopefully. Right over here on this mountain will be the Great Hall. This is the main area where everyone goes to eat and have speeches and other things. So let's first start by adding the walls. Now, if you come over to this side, you can see that there is no wall. But that's actually on purpose. Lego made the back of the build empty so you can look at the insides of the building. So I want to recreate it the exact same way. So inside the Great Hall, I just want to add a few details like some tables and chairs. Just like this, and then below it in this mountain will be where they fought during the Chamber of Secrets, with the basilisk coming out of this scary man's face. Yeah, that's a bit terrifying. Well, there we go. That's the first building down. Only 2 more to go. Now, over here, there's a giant spire that goes really high in the air. This is connected to the second build. Let's just first start with the spire. Hey, not too bad. Now again, the back wall is empty because the Lego set made this room the place with all the paintings and the moving stairs. So let's just add them. Alright, it was a bit tough to make the stairs look thin, but this was the best I could come up with. And it doesn't look too bad, right? Well, now we can finish the second building. We just have to connect it to the spire. Like this. And now on the inside, we just have to add some details like the human-sized chest, the Chamber of Secrets sign, and just some other random details. But boom! Oh, it's looking so good. We only have 1 more building to go, but before we do that, we just have to add the bridge leading up to it. There's actually 2 of them. One really big one going to the entrance right here, and then a smaller one leading to the back. But now we can finally start on the last build. Now, just like the others, there's going to be even more spires on each corner of the build, and then a really cool looking build in the middle. Let's go, it's turning out amazing! But the last thing we have to do is add a few more details on the inside. But there we go! The Hogwarts castle is fully complete! That means we're 3 sets down. We're almost halfway there. So let's keep going. This next set will be the Lego Disney Castle. Now to make this, I'll need over 8,000 blocks of terracotta. Not too much, but that means I'm gonna have to go to a Badlands, and... there we go, now we can start mining. Okay, let's stop before my pickaxe breaks. I've learned my lesson. But alright, hopefully that will be enough. Now the last thing we need is a bunch of bamboo wood. So we just gotta get a bit of this. Oh, yeah! Now we have all the materials to start this build. So let's do it. It's gonna go right here, and the first thing I want to start with is the wall in front of the giant castle. There's gonna be a few of these spires on parts of the wall, so let's build one right here. Wow, it actually looks really good, but it's gonna look even better once we add the entire wall. So let's just finish building it. But we still have a lot to add to the castle, but before we work on that, let's just add a water moat in the front with a bridge going over it. But there we go. That made it look so much cooler. Kind of. Well, we finally finished the wall, but now let's work on the castle. There's only going to be 2 layers to this, and they're going to be made from a bunch of terracotta. So let's just start on this first layer. Alright, now it looks a bit simple right now, but that's just because the second layer is going to add so much detail to the build. Not because I suck at building. No, definitely not. Well, the second layer will be a bit taller and hopefully will look really cool. I just gotta build it on top of this first layer's roof. Just like this. But as you can see, I left a little hole right here because I want to add the most iconic part about this castle, which is the giant spire that goes really high in the sky. But there we go. Now the outside is basically done, but we still have to add one more thing. The Lego set has a firework going off above the castle, so I just want to recreate it with some glass. Wow, that was so much harder than I thought. I should have used some scaffolding, but there we go. With that, the castle is finally complete. Oh, there's mobs in here. Oh! Yeah, we didn't fill the back in because we still have to work on the inside of the build. There's just gonna be a bunch of details, like this carpet at the entrance where all the characters can dance, just like this, and then above it, a chandelier on the ceiling, and finally some glass art of the princesses on the walls. That looks close enough to a princess. Okay, yeah, it's hard to make the details exact with such little space, but it looks good enough, kind of. Well, let's keep going. In this room, let me add a mop and a bucket for the sorcerer's apprentice, and then over here, the sword and the stone, and then the candlestick, the Mulan sword and scroll, and finally a pumpkin. Very nice. It's already starting to turn out pretty cool, but we still have so many rooms to go. So let's keep going. Now this next floor is all about Beauty and the Beast. I first just want to add a cupboard on this side. There we go. And then next to that will be a table with a bunch of things on it. But boom, we're already done with the second floor. And while we still have so many more details to add, we're actually getting pretty good progress. Well, the rest of the inside that we have to finish is just going to be filled with even more details from all the Disney movies. So let's just finish this thing. But with this painting, the Disney castle is finally done. Oh, that took a while, but it looks so good. And that means that we are finally halfway done with all of the sets. So let's keep going. Now right over here, I want to build the next set. And it's going to be the Millennium Falcon. It's going to be ginormous and require over 20,000 blocks of stone. That's around 12 full shulker boxes. Now to mine all this stone, I just got to go all the way down and add a beacon. There we go. And now I guess let's just start mining. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. It definitely will. Alright, we mined a pretty good chunk out so far, and have filled up around 5 shulker boxes, so we're not even halfway done. Well, the good thing about mining in this area is I'm getting a bunch of random blocks that I need for the build. But yeah, we just gotta keep mining. Let's do it. Oh, finally, I think that is all the stone that we need. Wow, we really cleared this place out. Well, there we go. We have all the blocks to build this, which means we can finally start on it. So let's first just add the outline just to see how big it truly will be. Oh my god. Stop it. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to bed. Yeah, it's pretty big. Oh, I don't know what I got myself into. Now, the build is over this pretty rough patch of terrain. So let's first get rid of all the trees. And then flatten the entire place out. But there we go. Much better. Now, while it does seem massive and seem like it's going to take forever to build, yeah, it is going to take forever, but hopefully not as long as it seems, because it isn't that tall. Now, the Lego set is being held by a bunch of stands all around the build, so let's work on that first. Let me first make one of them right here, just to see what it looks like. Just like this. Hey, not too bad. Now we just got to repeat that process like 4 more times. To finish off all the parts of the set that connect to the ground, I gotta build the ramp that leads everyone to the inside of the ship. Just like that. Now it does look really good, but it doesn't seem like one build and just a bunch of random separate builds scattered all over the place. So let's just connect everything up with the bottom of the ship. It is gonna be so big. Oh, finally. This entire floor of the ship is completely done. Now, it does look a bit weird from up here, but from the bottom, the floor actually looks pretty cool. Oh, wow, it's dark. Yeah, I guess we have to light this place up. Oh my gosh, there's so many mobs. No! Alright, much better. Well, I now want to work on the main part of the ship, which is this front area with the prong thingies. I don't know what they're called. Now, it's going to be pretty tough to make with how detailed it is, so let me first just build one of the prongs to see what it looks like. And boom. Well, that took a while. And now we have to repeat it onto the other side. Hopefully it doesn't take as long as this side. Boom! Well, the front of the ship is almost completely done. The last thing we have to do is add this open area in between the prongs. I'm not sure if it's like a gun or something, but it looks cool. But just like that, the front is complete. Now we do still have the entire back to go, which is almost triple the size, but let's not think about that yet. Instead, let's just work on the cockpit on this side of the build. In the Lego set, it kind of just sticks out right here, so let's recreate it. Now this is one of the only parts of the Lego set that has an inside, so let's add it. Some chairs for the pilots to sit in, and then a dashboard. There we go. Oh, that looks so good. And we only have a bit more to go on this build. Kind of. We have a lot. I first just got to add the walls that go all the way around the outside. And then on the back of the build, instead of a wall, I want to add some blue to make it look like the ship has some thrusters on it. Just like that. Nice. We only have 2 more things to add. And that is easier said than done because the 2 things are to build the entire roof. Yeah, this is gonna take a while. Let's just get this over with. Alright, we're about halfway done, and it's looking really good. The only problem is I'm almost all out of materials. Hopefully we'll have enough for the rest of the build. And let's go! The roof is completely done. We only have one more thing to do, and that is to add the iconic center dish on the top right here. It's basically just like a half circle, so let's make it. And the Millennium Falcon is done. Oh, that did take forever, but it turned out so good. And that means we only have 2 more Lego sets to go. I finally want to start on the Lego Titanic. Now, while this build is big, the part that makes it hard to build is how long it is. That didn't sound right. To make this, I'll need over 7,000 blocks of birch planks. So let's just start gathering. Wow, okay, we really cleared this area out. We got all the wood gathered, but now we have to get around 6,000 blocks of black wool. And this is much harder to get. Now, I already got a bunch of sheep right here, but it's not gonna be enough. So we first just gotta breed them all up. There we go. Oh my gosh, there's so many sheep. Okay, yeah, maybe I should have made the pen a bit bigger. Well, all we gotta do now is just shear them. Alright, we're about half a shulker box done, and we need 4 full shulker boxes. So we're gonna have to shear for a while. And boom, oh my gosh, that took so long. We now have all the black wool that we need. Hi. So now we can finally start on the build. Now I want to change the location of the Titanic from over here to closer near all of these Lego sets right back here. So again, let's first start with the outline of the bottom. Oh, come on, we're only halfway done. This is taking so long. Oh! Oh, I didn't have my headphones in. Okay. But finally, it's done. Wow, I really forgot how big this was. Now, the Titanic is separated into 3 different sections. Red at the bottom, black, and then the white at the top. So, I first want to start with the red section. It's just going to alternate from red to orange stripes all the way up. Oh my gosh, that took so much longer than I thought. Now it's gonna get even harder from here, because the other 2 sections are much bigger. But we still have a tiny thing to add before we work on those. Now the Lego set has these propellers on the back, so let's add them right here. And boom, the first section is done, which means I can finally start on the second section. And now I just gotta build this all up. Oh, nice. It's finally starting to look like the Titanic. But now we got the hard part. This third section is going to be the most detailed with all of the wires and smokestacks on the top, so it's going to take so much longer. Now there's a bunch of things here, but before we do that, let me just start with the floor right here. Boom! Just like that. Well, now we can work on the details. And there's going to be a lot of them, starting with these mover thingies that move, I think. I don't really know what they are. Just like this. And now we have to add some other things, like the chairs all around the place, the raised platform right here where there's like some sort of control panel, and finally at the back of the ship, this Great Britain flag. Alright, again, it's so hard to build this small, but there we go. The back of the ship is fully done, and it turned out really good. Now I want to work on the walkway that goes all the way across the ship. So to do that, I just gotta raise the middle much higher than everything else, and add the details exactly like the Titanic. Alright, that's this side done, but now we just have to repeat it onto this side. But there we go. This is turning out so good, and it's actually starting to look like the Titanic now. But we still have a bunch to go. Now, of course, the next thing I want to add is the front. This will be a bit simpler than the back, but still have a lot of the same details, like these mover thingies. I still don't know what they're called. But then we just have to add a bunch of random things just to make the ship look less boring. Hey, the Titanic is fully filled in, which means we only have a few more things to add, and they are all on top of this raised area right here. Now, the first thing I want to add is all the rooms across this entire area. Now, there's gonna be a bunch of rooms, so let me make one right here just to see what it looks like. Just like this. Pretty simple. I mean, it did take the entire day, but you know, whatever. But now we just have to repeat that across the rest of this entire area. This might take a while. Boom, there we go. Now it kind of looks empty right now, and that's just because we still have to add the giant pillars on top that are extremely iconic to the Lego set. So let's build them, starting with this first pillar on this empty area over here. Oh, that looks so good. And we only have 3 more to go, one being right here. Nice, that's the second. And over here is the third. And finally, the fourth. We only have one more thing to add, and it will be all the wires and ropes all over the top to hold the poles in the air. I first just gotta build the poles. For some reason, okay, again, I really don't know what this is for. But finally, the last thing we have to do is just add all the wire supports for these poles. We just gotta add the wires to connect the 2 poles. This is fun. But boom! The Titanic Lego set is fully complete. But now we only have one more set to go. Let's now move on to the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. Sorry, that's hard to pronounce. Now, while this set may not have the most Lego pieces, it is going to be the largest build I make in this video, meaning I'm going to need so many materials, including almost 30,000 blocks of birch planks and 50,000 blocks of colored concrete. This is going to be fun. Well, actually, the birch planks are going to be pretty easy to get. I just got to gather around 4 shulker boxes full of birch logs, which just means a bunch of farming at my tree farm. Oh, okay, that took a while. But we finally have all the wood that we need. And yeah, I forgot I had this tree farm. I'm stupid. But now we just gotta get all the concrete, which is gonna take even longer. Now, luckily, I have the sand duper, which is gonna make this so much easier. We just gotta wait here for a bit. Alright, it's been about an hour, so hopefully it's been enough. Oh, yes, this farm is so OP. And we do still have to change all of it to regular concrete. So let's now work on making a farm for that. It's gonna go right here, so we just gotta add the collection system. Just like this, and then all the way up here, let's make the actual farm. Whoa. Okay, what just happened? Alright, so now if I just flick this lever, yes, it actually works. We just gotta add all our powder into these chests, and now it's just even more waiting to try and convert all of this to concrete. Yes, there we go. We finally have all the blocks that we need for this build. So let's do it. It's gonna go right here next to all of these sets. And of course, it's gonna be so big. The first thing I wanna make is the soccer field. Or if you wanna say it wrong, the football field. Don't yell at me in the comments for that. Now, this field is gonna be pretty simple with just a bunch of squares made of different shades of green all across the floor. Something like this. Now we just gotta continue building it like this for the rest of the field. Now, yes, it does look a bit empty, and that's just because we still have to add all of the lines to make it look like an actual soccer field. So let's just break some of these blocks to make the lines. Yeah, I really should have just made these lines at the start. I'm dumb. But nice, that's all of the blocks broken. And now, boom! Wow, let's go, that made it so much better. Now we only have one more thing to complete this field, and it is to add the goals. With one being over here, and the other being on the other side. But there we go, this first part of the stadium is complete. But this is actually the smallest part of the build, so this will be fun. I now want to add the seats in the stands that go all around this field. In the Lego set, the seats are blue with stripes of orange. So let me first just add one row to see what it looks like. Just like this. Now all we gotta do is just repeat this process a bunch more times. Hey, looking pretty good. The stadium has 3 layers of seats, each one with different details on it. So let's just start adding the rest of the seats. Nice, that's the second layer of seats done. And that is the third. Well, let's go. This is turning out so good so far. We still have a bunch to add. Before we work on anything else, there's actually some text on these stairs that just say the soccer's club name. So I first want to add that. It's going to be tough to fit all the letters in this small space, but I'll try my best. Alright, yeah, that was the best I could do. Well, now we can move on to the overhangs all around the stadium. On 3 of these sides, there's this white ceiling that just goes over a small part of it. So, this might take a while. Oh yes, this looks so good. But as you can see, there's one side that didn't get part of the seat and the overhang. And that's just because it's a bit different here. On both sides of this area, there's these giant towers that go all the way up. They also kind of have a weird shape, so it's going to be pretty hard to build it from Lego into Minecraft. Just like this. Not too bad. Now, in between these two, there's another overhang, but it's just a bit different to the rest and kind of looks like a fence. I don't know what this is. Now, it's basically just all black and white concrete, so hopefully it's going to be pretty simple to make. Oh my god! Let's go! Inside the stadium is fully complete. Now, while it does look good on the inside, the outside, not so much. Well, let's just continue with this side because we already started it. The wall in between these towers are going to have the same design as them and going to slant inwards a bit. So let's just start building it. Hey, let's go. We already finished one side of the stadium. But it's going to get so much harder from here because each other side is much more detailed. Now, it's going to be the same pattern all the way around the rest of the walls. So we just got to add them. Let's just start on this side and build the walls all the way up. Oh, we're only half done with this side, and it's already taking so long. But this is what the pattern's gonna look like, so we just have to keep making it. Alright, let's keep going. Oh, there we go. That's the first side done. Only 2 more to go. We now just have to repeat that onto the other side, just like this. That took a while. But finally on this side, it's gonna be a bit harder because it's the longest side. So, yeah, let's just do this. But, boom! Nice, the stadium is almost complete. We just have to add a bunch of small details all around the stadium, like some trees and light posts, just like this. And then over here, we even have to add a truck. It looks a bit funny, but, yeah, that was the best I could do. But now we just have one more thing to add. Now, the stadium has these giant towers that connect to each corner of the build, so we just have to start adding them. The first one is gonna go right here, and has a pretty cool design on it. Just like this. So this is what it's gonna look like. Now all we gotta do is repeat that tower 3 more times on the other corners. This being the second tower, the third, and finally the 4th! Let's go! We have fully completed the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium and all the other ginormous Lego sets. They look so good, and if you like them, please subscribe. Okay, bye.